Hello and welcome to part 10 of 100 skills that if you learn them, if you practice them, if you bring them into your life, the odds are that your life will become more successful. Skill number 1 for this video, skill number 34 in the series, is honesty. So honesty is a skill. And the reason it's a skill is the first step in honesty is self-awareness. If you know nothing about yourself, but tell other people what you're going to do and how you're going to be, you will lie because you're uninformed. It's no different than if I start telling you what Duterte is going to do. I'm not in control of that. I don't know, right? So I'm going to lie a certain amount of the time because I don't know. And if you don't know yourself, but you tell other people, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be hardworking, I'm going to be this, I'm going to make a lot of money, but you don't know, you're going to lie some of the time because it's 50-50 if you're ignorant. So the first skill before you can be honest is you've got to become self-aware, right? And the second skill is you've got to see where things are going, right? You've not only got to understand where things are right now, but let's say you borrow money and you say, I'm going to pay you back next week. But you haven't looked at the weather and there's a typhoon coming. And if the typhoon destroys your house, you're not going to have enough money to pay back the loan next week. So you have to see where things are going. You have to be self-aware. You also have to be aware of the environment. Now, the third skill, right? So you've got to see where things are going. The third part of being honest is you have to understand your power and your powerlessness. And what I mean by that is if your father steals your money, I was talking with a Filipina the other day, and her father stole her money to buy alcohol. And she couldn't stop him, right? And her father is part of her life. So she could say that she's going to do this and this and this, but there are some things that are outside of her control. And there are some things that are in her control, right? And you've got to know the difference. Because if you pretend that you control everything when you control 20%, right, then you're going to lie. You're going to say, I'm going to do this, but my brother stole my motorbike. I'm going to do this, but my mother, didn't finish the laundry, and so I didn't have my uniform, so that I couldn't go to my interview, so that I didn't get the job, right? You've got to understand where you have control and where you don't have control. And the last, right? So that's understanding a boundary. You have control, and over here you have powerlessness. You've got to understand that, or you will lie. If you think you have control, but you don't, you will lie. And finally, you've got to speak consistently with this whole package, right? Now, I don't lie. And the reason I don't lie is, first of all, I have a high level of self-awareness, right? The second thing is I'm always looking at the future and what's likely to happen. The third thing is I never promise to do anything when it's not in my control. I don't make a promise. I say, I think it's pretty good, like maybe there's a 50% chance that I can do this. Because I look and I see that's in someone else's control, that's in someone else's control. I'm not sure, I'm not going to promise. But the most important thing is I don't make promises that I'm not certain about. I don't tell a woman I'm going to love her for the rest of her life, because there's a good chance that would be a lie. Why? Because I've loved plenty of women, but their definition of love is this, 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 and this, and I'm not doing that. So even if I do love them in some way for the rest of their life, if you ask them, is Dane loving you right now? They might say no, because they haven't heard from me in years. So I may think, I wish them well, right? But what they mean by love is, giving them daily phone calls and this, and I'm not doing that. So I have never, ever told someone I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Why? Maybe I'll change my mind. But also, I've done the research, meaning I've talked with hundreds of Filipinas, and if you ask them, were they ever in love before, they all say yes. Were their boyfriends in love with them before? Yes. Did they say, I love you, I want to be with you forever? Yes. And they all lied. All of them lied. All those Filipinas and all those Filipinos, the boys, the girls, they lied. They all said they wanted to be with each other forever. They all lied. Now, I have that feeling, right? I have the feeling sometimes, I want to be with this person forever. But I also have the science. I have the thinking. I look around at all the people who fell in love and said they would be together forever, and they're not together anymore. So I think I really don't know. I really don't know. So I'm not going to say that. I may say right now I have the feeling, but don't count on it, because feelings change, right? So these are the skills. This is why being honest is a skill. Now, how does it help you to be honest? Well, I make a lot of money because people trust me. And the reason they trust me is I don't lie. I do what I say I will do. If I say I will get a job done, I get it done on time, or I get it early, right? So my clients trust me. So they're willing to pay more. They pick me for the job, right? So it's a useful skill for success. Now, similarly, if nobody believes you because you lie all the time, then nobody will loan you money, give you opportunities, because they don't believe you. And secondly, if you try to convince them, it takes a lot of energy, right? So you waste energy, you don't get opportunity, you don't get as much respect, you don't make as much money. So it's an important skill. And the most important thing about this skill is don't promise things. If you look at it and you say, I don't really know if I can control this or not, then don't make a promise. If you say, well, gee, I hope my dad doesn't do that, don't make a promise. Say you will do your best, but it's not a promise. And if that's true, if you will do your best rather than just be lazy, then people will trust that. So honesty is incredibly important. Now, the other thing that's important to know is that it takes a lot of work to be honest. I work hard to be honest. And because I work hard to be honest, because I see the benefits, I want an honest friend. I want an honest lover. I want an honest employee. I want an honest business partner. I know what it takes to be honest. So if I don't see those qualities in someone, I don't have a relationship. Now, it's very, very good for you as a Filipina to be with an honest lover, to be with an honest employer, an honest friend. Very good for you. But you're not worth it. You're not worthy of that if you tell lies, because you're inexperienced, because you're optimistic, because you're stupid, because you think it helps you in the short term to get what you want. That's short-term thinking. Right? Now, I get rid of people all the time in my life because they tell lies. And what remains are rare people who tell the truth. So if you want people in your life that tell the truth, you have to earn it by being trustworthy. Then you end up with a few good people in your life, and your life will go up. Skill number 35, second in this series, hard work. Another way of saying that is discipline, right? If you say, I want to achieve this goal. And so every month I'm going to have to do this, and every week I'm going to have to do this, and every day I'm going to have to do this in order for it to end up. Like every day I have to walk these steps, every week I have to walk this number of steps every month, and then I arrive at my destination. Now, sometimes it's raining and you don't want to walk, but you do it anyway. Sometimes it's a difficult month, it's a bit hot, it's a bit cold, but you do it anyway. Hard work basically means that you carry on with your commitments even when you don't feel like it, right? Philippines is filled with Filipinos who have kids, and then when they don't feel like paying for the cost, they run off, having gotten a Filipina pregnant. They're not hardworking, right? Now, here's why hard work is so important. Now, every lazy person dreams of marrying a hardworking, successful person who will do all the hard work for them. Right? That's the idea. See, the trouble is, I've worked hard since I was 17, and I see constant laziness in Filipinas. Constant laziness. I write a paragraph online, they write one word. It's lazy. Right? It's stupidity. I write another paragraph, one word. And what I think is, here's a lazy communicator. Do I want to live my life with a lazy person? If they're a lazy communicator, they're probably lazy at getting things done. They probably think I'm a sugar daddy. But I have no interest in that. So I just delete. About 50% of the time I delete because there's lazy communication. Now, on the flip side, 1 in 100 Filipinas will actually write something really interesting. Now, she's the one I'm interested in. It's not about who's cute. It's who's hardworking. Why? Well, I'm sure you've seen cute Filipinos who lie and are poor and are lazy and like to go out drinking with your money. Do you want to marry one? Well, maybe if you're rich and you don't mind that, maybe you do. But most of the Filipinos that I talk to, they say, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this stupidity, laziness, immaturity. You don't want to marry a lazy, poor, drinking, gambling idiot. I don't either. Nobody does, right? And so if you work hard, from the first moment you show that you're a hard worker, then another person who's a hard worker says, there's a hard worker. It's not hard to spot, right? And you give them the opportunity. Why? Here's why. Let's say you want to build a house together, and you have two couples, right? So couple A has one hard worker, right? The Filipina is a hard worker, but the man just goes out drinking and gambling, right? So couple A takes 2 years to build the house because the Filipina is doing all the work. Now, couple B has a hardworking Filipino or man and Filipina, and so they only do it in 1 year. They achieve their goal in half the time of the couple that one of the people is lazy. So they get their house done in a year. Then they can go and build a second house or achieve another goal. And every year they accomplish double what the lazy couple does. Now, if they're 2 lazy people, they don't ever get a house built. Nothing. They just go deeper into debt and, struggle around and try desperately to get other people to loan them money because they're both lazy and nobody wants to help them. Right? Now, the reason I want a hardworking girlfriend, partner, employee, lover, I like hardworking people, is because you get 2 or 3 times more done, right? And if you teach your children to be hardworking, your whole family can become wealthy, can become successful, rather than the family where the whole family is lazing around watching TikTok. You have a lazy husband, a lazy wife, lazy kids. They just get fat and sick watching TikTok. Right? Whereas another family has 10 hardworking people, and they go 10 times as faster. And then you look around, how did they get to be rich? Because they worked hard, because they had discipline. Right? Now, if you are a hardworking person, you do not want to marry a lazy person or hire a lazy person. If you own a business and you have a cute, lazy employee or a hardworking, ugly employee, you want the hardworking, ugly employee because they will make you money. Right? So the skill of hard work is the skill of self-motivation. To do hard work, first of all, you have to choose to think about the future and work hard in the present. You have to choose. Right? You're watching this video now. It's not an easy video. But if you learn it, your future will be better. You're a hardworking person. Now, the next skill, skill 36 in our 100 skills, is strategy and or the 80-20 principle. Now, the 80-20 principle says that if you have 100 people, 20 of the people will get 80% of the work done. If you make 100 choices in your life, 20 of those choices will benefit you the most. Right? So 20% of the people, 20% of your actions account for 80% of the benefits in the world. Now, you have to figure out which ones those are, right? So of all the activities you do in your life, what are the 20% that benefit you 80%? And you need to do more of those. That's called strategy. Now, you also need to look at the 20% of people in your life who create 80% of your problems, and you need to get rid of them. Right? Your uncle, your grandmother, your neighbor annoyance, right? Your best friend who causes 80% of all your problems and sufferings coming from them. 20% of the people in your life will cause 80% of your suffering. If you want to get rid of 80% of your suffering, you get rid of that 20% of the people. Now, on the other hand, 20% of the people give you 80% of the benefits of your life. And if you want to grow, You must reward those people, thank those people, give those people honor and respect so that they will stay in your life, so that you will ascend, so that you will go up. You must respect the 20% of the people in your life that help you go up and honor them. And you must respect the 20% of people that cause 80% of your suffering and get rid of them. Now, if they can learn, hey, you're causing 80% of my suffering. You're doing it this way. Oh, no, you're out. If they can learn, oh, I didn't know. Can you explain? Yes, you do this, and this, and it's painful. Okay, I understand. I will change. You give them a chance. Do they change? Or do they whine and come up with excuses? So, if you understand that in all areas of life, if you make 100 investments in your life, 20% of them, 20 of them, will make you 80% of the money. And 20% of them will be horrible investments and lose you most of that, of the money. That principle is there. It's in nature. It's in life. It's called the 80-20 principle. You can watch YouTube videos on it. I recommend that. And then where strategy comes in is if you understand that in every area of your life, this 80-20 principle is present, you apply that strategy, you make changes, and improve your life. Now, finally, we have a fun skill 37 in our skills, part 4, the last skill in this video, and it's called win-win or no deal. Now, how it works is person number A wants these things in their life. Person number B wants these things in their life. And between the two of them, there will be some things that both of them want. And the goal, the commitment, the ideal, is to only have interactions with people where it's good for both people, or you don't do it. In other words, if I want to sell you a pillow for 100 pesos, and you have 100 pesos, but you don't want a pillow, you have too many pillows. If I say, come on, please buy this pillow, what I'm asking you to do is lose. You don't want the pillow. You want the 100 pesos. But I want your 100 pesos and I want to give you a pillow. So I'm going to try and manipulate you. Come on, please buy the pillow. It's a good pillow. It's a soft pillow. But you already have too many pillows. But I don't care about your success. I only care about my success. That's selfish, and it does not lead to long-term relationships. What you want to do is delete this stuff and only have these areas here where both people benefit, right? I want to do this. I want to do that. But we both want to do this. So let's connect here. So this skill, first of all, it's a complicated skill. Number one, you have to become successful enough that you can survive. You must survive. If you cannot survive, if you're feeling terrified and greedy, because people who don't know they are going to survive, they feel terrified and they feel greedy, you will be very selfish. So you must succeed enough that you are confident in your survival. So you must become successful enough to be confident. Now, the next skill is you must become empathic enough to care about other people. Now, how do you do that? Well, first of all, you care about yourself. And if you truly care about yourself, you will notice you start to care about other people. And if you care about other people, then you don't want something that's good for you but bad for them. Right? You don't want someone's money if they don't want to give it to you. You don't want a boss to pay you for a bad job because you care about them. You want them to succeed. Empathy is what makes people human rather than an animal. We have the human animal, lots of sociopathic, selfish people. They don't care about other people at all. This is what makes someone human, to be empathic, right? So you must develop empathy where you genuinely care about other people, not just yourself. That could take years. Young people are often too immature to care about other people. You must develop empathy. You must also develop understanding. You must understand that what's good for you may be bad for your partner. Right? Your partner may get depressed watching a movie, but you may get happy, which means you must understand that people are different. You must understand your partner. You must understand that what makes you happy may make them sad. And you must care enough to understand that, and you must care enough to not do things that make someone else unhappy just because you want to be happy. Now, there's another tricky part of this, which is the complexity, right? There are 8 billion people in the world. So it's not my job to make you happy. It's my job to be who I am, who I think is good to be, what's good for me. It's your job to find someone in 8 billion people, right? You don't have to get married to me. You don't have to do business with me. You don't have to be friends with me. You have 8 billion people to choose from. You have to find the people who you can make happy and who can make you happy. And you have to let go of the rest because you don't have time for 8 billion people. You don't have time for 1,000 people. You don't have time for 500 people. Maybe you have time for 5 people or 20 people. And that's where you need to spend your time, right? So you have to understand that just because you care about other people, it doesn't mean that you have to suffer to make them happy. It means you have to let them go to find someone else who is happy doing what they want. And you must focus on what you want and makes you happy and finding someone who wants to do that. Because when you find someone where you say, I really want someone to talk to, and they say, I really want to talk to you, now you have win-win. They want to talk to you, you really want to talk. Okay, win-win. So the commitment, so this requires action, right? Because what many people want to do is they want to say, oh, I don't want to find a new friend. I don't want to find a new lover. I don't want to find a new husband. I just want you to change and do what I want you to do. Why? Because I'm afraid of the unknown, because I'm lazy, because I don't care what you want, I just want what I want. Right? So it takes action to find people that genuinely want what you want. You've got to do that action. That's part of this skill. So when you do this successfully, you survive enough that you're not frightened. You care enough about other people. You become mature enough to be empathic. You develop enough skills to be understanding, and you know that everyone's different. Right? You care enough to find where you can make someone happy and they can make you happy, and where that can't be. And you take action to find new people. And you walk away from relationships where you cannot make them happy and they cannot make you happy. You walk away because there's 8 billion people you can choose from. So it takes discipline, it takes courage, it takes character not to just manipulate someone to do what they don't want to do. And so this is the skill. And I want to appreciate you for your attention, your intelligence, your discipline to make it to the end here. Love to hear your comments of how you've applied these skills. Right? Any examples that might be useful for other Filipinas. Thank you. Blessings and good night.